Welcome back and now to the news in detail. The Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission (RESEC) says it will unveil a revised timetable and new guidelines for the 2025 local government elections next week. In a statement, RESEC Chairman Dr. Michael O'Day said the timetable and guidelines will be unveiled during a stakeholders meeting on July the 28th. He said political party leaders, traditional rulers, security agencies, religious bodies, civil society groups, and voters are expected to attend the meeting. Recall the RESEC's earlier election timetable, which fixed the polls for August the 9th, 2025, was suspended following political instability and a state of emergency in the state. The August date was meant to replace the October the 5th, 2024 local government election, which the Supreme Court nullified for breaching the Electoral Act. The court ruled that RESEC failed to give the mandatory 90-day notice and didn't properly obtain or publish the National Voter Register. That ruling voided the October polls and triggered a fresh round of legal and political controversy that stalled the entire process. The LGA election held in October 2024, or the local government election that held in October 2024, was won by the Action People's Party, which secured victory in 22 local government areas, while the Action Alliance won in one LGA. Away from that, some civil servants in Rivers State say the ongoing re-verification exercise at the State Secretariat is smooth and well organized, expressing hope that it won't affect their July salaries. They spoke to correspondent Emeka Otuka. Earlier, the acting head of service, Dr. Iyinge Brown, assured that salaries will be paid before the close of work today. She also clarified that the exercise is not tied to the new contributory pension scheme, although the old defined benefit scheme officially ended on June the 30th, 2025.
Meeting was also what they're trying to do. In that meeting, the Solar Administrator stated clearly that with his team that there is no proper database for the River State workers. By doing this verification, having heard from them, for us too, we also worried. But we need to also understand how many workers we have in River State, and that will also help us to also know our strength in terms of civil service in the state. We are not against that, in as much as it will not bring any form.
Apologies for the mix-up in the soundbite there. In the meantime, the Rivers State Chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, Mr. Alex Egwanwa, says the ongoing staff re-verification exercise is an outcome of the meeting the union had with the sole administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas. Mr. Egwanwa said the union welcomes the exercise so far. It will not negatively impact workers and pensioners' salaries.
Part of the outcome of that meeting was also what they're trying to do. In that meeting, the sole administrator stated clearly that with his team that there is no proper database for the River State workers. By doing this verification, having heard from them, but us too, we also worried. But we need to also understand how many workers we have in River State, and that will also help us to also know our strength in terms of civil service in the state. We are not against that, in as much as it will not bring any form of intimidation or victimization of our members, and also begin to affect or prolong the already delayed payment of the pensioners.
On his part, the state chairman of the Civil Servants Union of Nigeria, Chuks Osoma, also said that they are not against the exercise but are only concerned that the government should not link the re-verification of the workers to what he called the contentious contributory pension scheme.
I've met with the head of service. She also told us the same thing. People have died and their name are still in the voucher. Some has retired, their name are still in the voucher. Every month, salary fee remains the same. It doesn't come down. That is what they want to do, because our own concern is that they shouldn't link the verification to contributory pension scheme, which we are totally against, which they promise us. And the other fear we are having that they will delay payment of salary. But the head of service assured us that biometrics will not delay the payment of salary.
Still on this, former spokesman of the civil society organizations in Rivers State, Solomon Lenu, has slammed the Rivers State Sole Administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas, for carrying out the re-verification exercise of civil servants. Speaking in an interview with our correspondent, Lenu said the Sole Administrator is now operating outside the restoration of the peace mandate that President Bola Tinubu charged him with.
For all that it is what we heard he was sent here to come and do was to come and restore peace, even when there was no issue, no crisis. We are here in Rivers State today. Ibas had come to come and assume all the responsibility of an elected governor when the governor is still there. There is a difference between suspension and removal. Rivers people have a governor that was elected that is still subsisting, and that person is not Ibas. What is the business of Ibas going to go and dissolve all governance structure that we had in this state?
Lenu said instead of tackling insecurity and ensuring the maintenance of the environment in the state, the Sole Administrator is now focused on improving his interests.
As we speak right now, insecurity is at the all-time high in Rivers State. It doesn't bother Ibas at all. It doesn't concern him. Rivers State has been turned from the garden city to a garbage city. It doesn't bother him. All contractors that were doing their contracts that Rivers people were very happy and everything had left site. IGR is still coming. The FAC allocation is still coming. So what is Ibas actually doing with those money? So whose interest is Ibas serving here in Rivers State? I'm not sure that this is what the president sent him here to do. I'm not also sure that people who worked with him to bring him here actually asked him to do this.
Meanwhile, some pensioners under the umbrella of Rivers State Civil Pensioners from 2012 to date have threatened to embark on a protest in the state if the sole administrator of the state fails to pay death benefits and the new salary structure for their members. Coordinator of the group, Isaac Orang, told correspondent Sobi Oruwari that they will go on the protest if at the end of this month their salary does not reflect their demands.
The reason why we want to protest is that all this death benefit has not been paid. Salaries delay, we are not comfortable with it. The gratuity that was not paid in May and June should be paid. Our increase of 32% should be paid immediately. May Day celebration, you promised that I will pay that 32%. No pensioner has received anything in the name of 32%. We are just hearing from the side, from radio, that he went to government house. The sole administrator promised a lot of things. All these things have not been implemented till now. If by the end of this month nothing is done, we shall go to the street. We want him to commence the payment of death benefits immediately.
Orang also insists they are authentic members of the Nigeria Union of Pensioners in the state, contrary to a report by their union leader calling them dissident or a dissident group.
And we decided that we must demand for our right by fire by force. He went to the radio to say that we are dissident group, we are not recognized and so on, and so nobody should listen to us. Meanwhile, we are part of the union. We are not against the union. We are all working together. Like as I told you before, we have the permanent secretaries. They have their own association. They are also under the NUP, Nigerian Union of Pensioners. This our present group, 2012 to date, we are also under the same NUP. So all of us are the same group. So we don't have any issue. We contribute. We do meeting. We are loyal to whatever that is happening in the house.
In the meantime, the state NLC chairman, Alice Ogwanwa, has appealed to the pensioners to exercise patience until they receive their salary this month. Mr. Ogwanwa said their complaints about death benefits and the new salary structure are among the issues the sole administrator promised to address this month end.
That was part of our meeting to raise that issue about the outstanding the consequential adjustment for pensioners, which the State Minister announced on the 1st of May that he would comply with the federal government policy of 32,000 naira as approval for the consequential adjustment for pensioners. So the pensioners are expecting 3 months. Hopefully by this July period that the 3 months arrears will be paid. The government have given month ending, but for not at the end of the month that to be done. So we should give them the benefit of that too. I also agree with them on that, but they should also be patient. That it should be when they have received their pension and they don't see any change, can take it off from there.
We'll go for a quick commercial, but still to come, regulator warns states reducing electricity tariff must pay subsidy. Do stay tuned.
On 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back now to the rest of the news. The Imo State Police Command has condemned the killing of several persons in an attack carried out today by yet-to-be-identified gunmen at Indi Ejezie, Umu Aloma and Indi Akwata Uno in Aro Indizu Ogu, Idiato North. The spokesperson of the command, DSP Henry Okoye, in a statement said the assault left several others critically injured, describing it as inhumane and totally unacceptable. He said the command has deployed adequate operational and intelligence assets to apprehend the perpetrators and bring them to justice. Moving on, the coordinator of One United Front in Ogba Egbema Indoni local government area on Nelga River State, Peter Ijoma Obi, has made a passionate appeal to elders, political leaders, and stakeholders to honor the long-standing zoning arrangement guiding the rotation of the local government chairmanship position. In a press statement read out by Ijoma Obi, he reiterated that the zoning agreement, which has been respected by political actors in Onelga for over 2 decades, is based on a one-term rotational system between Constituency 1 and Constituency 2, specifically the Usumini zone, to produce the next chairman of the local government.
Before now, the elders came together and agreed that it will be a one-tenor rotational zoning between Constituency 1 and Constituency 2. And when it gets to any of the constituencies, it is now drifted down, extended to the 3 zones in each of the constituency. And for now, the tenor that just lapsed was the tenor of a candidate from the Omok zone, that's from Constituency 1. And the current turn is the Constituency 2 that is supposed to produce next chairman.
Ijoma Obi noted that adhering to the zoning formula is not just a political formality, but a moral and democratic necessity aimed at fostering equity, justice, and fairness across all segments of the local government.
It is important that we comply with this zoning formula. It is the Usumini zone that is expected to produce this chairman. The Usumini zone has a lot of competent people that can occupy this office. And so they should nominate their candidate. I want to appeal to the elders and the leaders and stakeholders. This is the right thing to do for the sake of equity, justice, and equality, to give them a sense of belonging in the political development of the area.
In other news, the federal government has set 12 years as the minimum age for students to be admitted into Junior Secondary School 1. The decision is contained in a new policy document on non-state schools released by the Federal Ministry of Education. The guideline stipulates that children are expected to complete 6 years of primary schooling before advancing to Junior Secondary School 1 at age 12. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NEC) has warned that state governments reducing electricity tariffs must pay subsidies. The commission stated this in a notice in reaction to the controversies around the decision of Enugu Electricity Regulatory Commission to slash the Ban A tariff. The NEC explained that state governments should either charge electricity tariffs that reflect the true cost of power or be ready to pay the difference as a subsidy. NEC also noted that states which have taken full control of their local electricity markets now have the right to set their own rules, including how they calculate tariffs for electricity users within their states. We'll go for another break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the international scene.
Yes, we go.
At more consultative assembly.
On the foreign scene, Germany, France, and the UK have called on Israel to immediately lift restrictions on the flow of aid to Gaza, saying withholding aid is unacceptable. Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry says 9 people have died of malnutrition in the past 24 hours, bringing the total of such deaths to 122. Israel says it will allow foreign countries to airdrop aid into Gaza in the coming days. A quick recap on the news this evening. You heard RISEC will unveil the revised local government election timetable next week. Some Rivers civil servants have praised the ongoing re-verification exercise. Aggrieved pensioners are threatening to protest if their July salary does not reflect new federal government-approved structure. Rivers acting head of service has assured that July salaries won't be affected by the re-verification exercise. On the foreign scene, UK, France, Germany call on Israel to immediately lift restrictions on flow of aid to Gaza. The news was edited by Constance Iwerele Mega. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I am Kaladakoru Batubo. Good evening. Do stay tuned.